Hello and welcome back to All Elite Spotlight. I am your host, TNT. Welcome back. Tonight we're reviewing the final Dynamite before AEW Dynasty this Sunday, April 12th. And so it's the go-home show for Dynamite, and we were not disappointed. We never are, to be honest, but They really blew it out the water with this one. It was a beautiful setup to get us ready for Dynasty Week, which began tonight. We have Collision, we have Countdown, 0 Hour, and Dynasty. And this was a great start to the week that it is. And we had a lot of great action, a lot of great matches, a lot of excellent in-ring promo, furthering of the storylines. I mean, It was a solid night of action, and I mean, pro wrestling at its best, at least in my eyes. I'm sure many of you will agree with me. And we started off with a bang, not in the ring, not a match, not a promo. We cut straight to the parking lot, and we see Ospreay, because it's on site with him and Mox. He's going at it in the parking lot, fight, beating down Mox. And of course, the Death Riders aren't far behind. They jump him, they get involved, and it looks like Ospreay's about to get his tail kicked again. But this time he has help, because he did not come into this like he did previously. A car pulls up and out comes the United Empire. So his group, his faction from overseas, and of course, Alex Windsor. So she's here as well, and he is joined by Hinare, by the Will Ospreay protege, Callum Newman, youngest IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and Francesco Akira. So the odds have been evened up, and they're totally going at it. The fight goes to ringside. After Yuta gets choke slammed or whatever on top of a car, and that's the last we see of him for the night. But I digress. Shafir, she's in a fight with Alex Windsor. Apparently, they're going to have a match between the two of them on Dynasty. I thought perhaps it was going to be Mina Shirakawa, but looks like it's been set. I don't know if it's for 0 Hour or not. I'll get that all straightened out for my Dynasty preview show later this week. But they're fighting, goes to ringside. It's just a wild, chaotic battle. Will's got Mox in the ring. Shafir jumps on his back, got him in a chokehold. Alex Windsor makes the save. At the end of the day, United Empire, they chase off the Death Riders. Will grabs the mic and he issues a challenge. He wants the main event of Dynamite to be the United Empire against the Death Riders. So he wants Chaos in Canada, and it definitely was Chaos in Canada for the main event. It was excellent. It ended up being an anything goes match, is what that type of match means, and anything did go, and it was excellent match. But before we get there, we have a backstage promo with Don Callis. He's got some bad news. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. Wrong company. But Fletcher is out injured, unfortunately. Worst case scenario for him. Feel bad. TNT title must be vacated. And as a result, we'll be getting a Casino Gauntlet match at Dynasty to determine the next champion, the next TNT champion. And that's what we've got. So sad day for Fletcher. It's unfortunate. Hopefully he can heal quickly and get back soon, get back into the swing of things. But in the meantime, Dynasty, we have a new champion that will be crowned. Don Callis also drops that Protocada and the Bucks, there was supposed to be a match at Dynasty, but that's been called off. and that he thinks everybody wants to see Okada versus Takeshita, but it's not going to happen because he likes that there's that animosity within the group, but he doesn't want them fighting. Animosity good, fighting bad. We shall see. From there, we go to a trios tag. So we have the team of, it was supposed to be the team of Darby Allin, Brody King, and Jack Perry, but Excalibur let us know that Brody is unavailable due to personal reasons. So filling in for him, his former tag team champion partner, current Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion, Bandido. So it's going to be Darby Allin, Bandido, and National Champion Jack Perry. They're taking on Don Callis family members Takeshita, Andrade, and Mark Davis. So the Don Callis family is looking to make this a night for revenge, a night in honor of their fallen brother, Kyle Fletcher. So that is their goal in hand. This is also a match to set up the Dynasty match between Darby Allin and Andrade El Idolo. If Darby Allin beats Andrade, he gets a world title shot. It doesn't matter if it's MJF or Kenny, because both have agreed to that stipulation. Andrade, he wants a world title shot too, so he's looking to get a victory here. No such stipulation for him, but I'm sure Don Callis will work it out. Going into the match, Andrade at first, he left immediately. So he's like, forget this. He doesn't want to be a part of it. Walks up the ramp and leaves. However, after Darby's team gets the advantage, they're up 3v2. So they get the advantage. Darby grabs the mic and he's calling Andrade back. He's calling Andrade back out, calling him out of his name. And Andrade comes out, but also Darby's not watching his back and he gets kind of folded up because Takeshita hits him with a couple rolling German release suplexes on the outside. But, great match as one might expect. A lot of back and forth. It was great to see actually Bandido back on AEW television. He's one of my favorite wrestlers on there. He had such a great year last year, and he's still running with that world title, the Ring of Honor world title that he won from Jericho. I believe it's over a year ago now. So good to see him on there. He does great work, and he did not disappoint either tonight. And there were a couple crazy spots here. I know, go figure, right, with the Darby Allin match. But yes, there were some. One in particular, Mark Davis and Takeshita were holding Darby Allin between the two of them, swinging him like a jump rope, and they toss him over the timekeeper's table. I don't know if he was supposed to land on it, but he went over it and landed terribly on some chairs in that area. And that was the end of Darby for the matchup. Then for Bandido, he got like a double chokeslam powerbomb on the ring apron, which left Perry to, handle the rest of the Don Callis family. He put up a good fight, but in the end, he got caught with Mark Davis slingshot lariat, the vicious Dunkzilla pile driver, and Andrade did a blind tag in. Did hit his DM finisher, and that was it. 1, 2, 3. Don Callis family gets the win straight up over Darby, Bandido, and Jack Perry. But that wasn't the end, of course. They had to put some boots to Perry. Darby and Bandido, they get in the ring. They come in, try to stop and make the save. Andrade gives Darby Allin a kick to the groin, quick low blow. Not very sporting of Andrade, but there you have it. Fortunately, the Bucks come out, make a save. Archer, Hechicero, El Clone comes out for the Don Callis family. They get wiped out as well by the Bucks. Then the Bucks get Konosuke. They have him up for a Meltzer driver, and he's saved by all people. The last person you'd expect, he's saved by Kazuchika Okada. And from there, they start working over the Bucks, giving them the business. But then Okada, being Okada, gets in a shoving match with Takeshita for no reason. And then they start trading blows, just hitting each other with those forearm shots. Don Callis Family. They come in, split them apart, break them up, and out of nowhere, the Rascals come in. They hit a couple dives along with Bandido that wipes out the Don Callis Family, all but Okada, who's makes it a point to go over and point and laugh at Takeshita. Then he goes to the other side of the ring, catches a dive by Myron Reed of the Rascals, who will be having a match against Okada on this Collision coming up Saturday. He will be challenging Okada for that international title. So all in all, Don Callis Family does get the win, but they're left hurting, laid out on the ring, while the Rascals, the Bucks, and Darby's team is in the ring licking their wounds and celebrating a bit. So we have Darby not getting the win or the momentum to lead into Dynasty. I kind of thought this would be a win for Darby to set him up, but that's fine. Andrade looks dangerous. He had a convincing win. He pins the national champion, raises the stakes for what we have with Darby, and that's good. That's good. Actually, I think I picked the Don Callis Family to win this, actually, just for that reason, to raise the stakes for Darby. So we'll see. Let me know what you guys think. Are you thinking Darby's going to win and he's going to get a future title shot? I'm kind of hoping so, because it's a long time coming. Darby's put in a lot of work, and he's definitely a main event talent for the company, and I can see him as a world champion. Now, who will he face for it? That's up in the air. We shall see. We had a great ending tonight in regards to the world title that we'll get to eventually, and another strong promo from Darby Allin regarding the world title before the night is over. So we have a quick backstage promo. This is a promo with Doc Samson. He's being interviewed about Kenny. They're wanting him to clear up the situation where MJF is saying Kenny's not 100%. He's just barely hanging on, and something bad can happen at any time due to the diverticulitis. Doc Samson says MJF is just trying to get in Kenny's head. He's playing mind games. He's cleared Kenny. The surgeons cleared him. Everything's fine. End of story. So that's good to hear, because I don't want that being a part of the storyline. Let's just have a great match, Kenny versus MJF. And it looks like that's what we're indeed going to get. So we have our second match of the night. This is a singles match for the TBS title. So we have the returning Queen Aminata going up against Willow Nightingale. And this is Willow's sixth title defense. Or actually, she's had 6 successful title defenses. This is defense number 7. And her reign has lasted 98 days so far. Queen Aminata, she's been out for just over 5 months. According to the commentators, it's a total of 161 days to be exact. And I've got to say, I've always been a fan of Queen Aminata, and this match was really good. She didn't show any ring rust. It was actually one of the best TBS title matches that I've seen Willow have. I would even say it was better than the one she had with Shida on Collision. So good job by Queen Aminata. She did end up coming up short. So 7th successful title defense for Willow Nightingale, but really a good showing by Queen Aminata. And hopefully she'll get some featured time in the future. And she definitely showed that she can be a contender. So hopefully that will continue as time progresses. I doubt that she'll have a role at Dynasty, seeing as she's coming back so close to it. But it was great that she got a title match right before it. And again, really showed up and showed out. Interesting note, Shida was there during the match. She was watching from the crowd. Did not get involved, did not say anything, but she was there. The camera showed her a few times, and Willow Nightingale did acknowledge her after the match, just going out the ring and, looking at her. But they didn't do much after that. They cut quickly after the match away. So no further storytelling regarding Sheeta and Willow, just knowing that Sheeta has her eyes on Willow and will be looking to get probably another TBS title match. We haven't had one announced for Dynasty, so maybe that'll be coming up. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a triple threat between her, Aminata, and Willow Nightingale, since she beat them both. And if Sheeta can get a match again, then why not Queen Aminata? But we'll see. Right now, it just looks like Sheeta and Willow, they'll have a program moving forward. I do want to point out that part of the match and how Queen Aminata looked so good, she was able to show power. She had Willow Nightingale picked up with relative ease for an air raid crash. She did take a nasty kind of bounce when Willow cracked her with, that pounce move that she uses, and Aminata kind of collided into the ropes awkwardly with like her head and neck. And, so hopefully she's good. She did have her neck taped up with that kinesio tape, and Willow still has her shoulder taped up as well. But match ended with that pounce, and then that Willow Nightingale gut wrench powerbomb for the win, and Willow moves on. We'll see what she has if she gets Sheeta at Dynasty. From there, they cut to a video package with MJF just showing his impact on wrestling. So they go all the way back, mentioning how he was the first match of the inaugural All In show in 2018, that he's been a day one roster member. They went back and showed his first world title win back in 2022 when he defeated Jon Moxley at Full Gear. How he was the headline match against Adam Cole at All In Wembley, in the largest wrestling show in Wembley. And then that he's also the longest reigning world champion when he beat Kenny Omega, interestingly enough, to surpass Kenny Omega's previous record. So it was a good package. It was good to see some history for MJF and some good old footage. So they did a great job with that. Definitely A+ on that. We did have from there an in-ring promo, and it's Chris Jericho. He's coming back and he's going to actually address the crowd. So crowd goes crazy, of course. We've got the Judas entrance, sing along. I love it. I'm sure you all do as well. Every time, the times that I've been able to go to a live show, Jericho has not been on there. So I haven't gotten to be a part of that experience, but maybe one day now that he's back. So he's here and he's saying he's going to sign his AEW contract on Dynamite. He's just talking about being a risk taker, how it doesn't always work out, but it's okay. Giving, a good guy face promo in the ring. He's talking about getting into the best shape that he could possibly be in, flashes the abs, and saying he doesn't care if it's him in the main event, opening match, or if he's not even on the show. His focus is to just help AEW, help it grow to be the best that it can be. And then interruption time, of course. And it's none other than Ricochet. But not just Ricochet, it's the entire Demand, of course. And he comes out, starts with Canada sucks, and that, Jericho, we're here in peace. Really, he's just here to say that he shouldn't come back because he's going to be rusty. He's not going to be any good. He's older. He's a great champion, of course. You're great. You're the best. But don't do it. Don't come back. You're just going to get hurt. Says nobody wants you here, and leave and don't come back. Jericho, of course, not gonna take that lightly because he's Chris Jericho. Doesn't give a crap. Doesn't use that word, but doesn't care what he thinks. Signs the contract and brings up the fact that there's a clause in there that says that Jericho can pick any opponent he wants for Dynasty. Who do you think he picked? I wonder who. It's going to be Ricochet. And for the first time in AEW, he had the clipboard for the signing of the contract. He peels off the back which said AEW, and now says Jericho on the back of the clipboard. He said he's going to do something he hasn't done in 10 years. We all know what it is because he pulls up the pen, clicks it. You just made the list. Oh man. It was a good moment. It was a good moment in time. It was good to relive and see the whole you made the list thing. We'll see if he's using that moving forward, but he may or may not. But it was a great moment, and I definitely enjoyed it. The crowd loved it. And Ricochet is the first in a decade, according to Jericho. And for the first time in AEW, for sure, he has made the list. So that was it. The match is official. Jericho will be facing Ricochet at Dynasty. From there, we had another backstage promo. This is the Don Callis family again. Don Callis definitely getting his screen time, for what that's worth, for better or for worse. He's great at what he does, but man, does everyone hate him, and rightfully so. Hate is a strong word though, right? We strongly dislike him. So he's talking about how Andrade will beat Darby Allin and he's going to earn himself a title shot. And also he's got a big match that's going to happen at Dynasty that he's going to set up, and it's going to be Okada and Takeshita going against the Bucks at Dynasty. And he says that they have to do it for Kyle, because as soon as he says it, Okada and Konosuke, they're like, heck no, we don't want to do that. Not at all. But Don Callis says, we're going to do it. He's the boss. There's only one boss in the family, and they're going to do it for Kyle. So they agree. They shake hands. Takeshita does say afterwards he wants to take Okada's title, the international title. Don Callis says, okay, they can do it at Double or Nothing after, but they have to take care of the Bucks and do that first. So they shake hands. Okada says he's MJ and that Takeshita, I guess, is Pippin. Takeshita doesn't like that. Family holds them apart, keeps them separate. From there, we go to another singles match. This is to determine the first entry in the Casino Gauntlet. That'll take place at Dynasty, where the winner will be the new TNT champion. And this match is a singles match between Tommaso Ciampa and Mascara Dorada. And of course, in the Gauntlet match, it can end at any time. So that's why you want to be either the first or the second. So you're in there for the entirety of the match. You can possibly end it before anybody else comes in. Not too likely, but it could happen. And, you want to make sure you're in there from the beginning so you don't miss out. The later you come in, the less chance you have. So they say Ciampa is on a 4-match win streak. I believe the last win he had was against Juice Robinson, and before that, his partner Ace Austin. So another solid match from Ciampa, the ring general of AEW. I'm going to say he was trying to gain control at first by going for Dorada's mask, but Dorada was able to avoid that, and his speed was, preventing Ciampa from getting full control. Honestly, Dorada doing sick, insane stuff. I mean, it's kind of typical for him at this point, but he's looked really smooth and crisp. There was, however, to be honest, a couple hiccups in the match. They covered it up pretty well. Ciampa's a veteran. He's great in there. Dorada knows what he's doing as well. It was just a couple awkward moments as they were going quickly, where they maybe were supposed to hit something and didn't quite hit it at that time. But like I said, quickly covered up. Most people probably didn't even notice it. But it did happen. But regardless, the match itself, I'm still saying it was amazing. I'm not going to give it match of the night because of what came in the main event. But it was another quality Ciampa match. And again, Dorada really impresses in there. He's right up there with one of the best luchadors on TV right now, and there's not really much else you can say about that. It's not really something you can dispute if you're watching him in the ring. He did hit a moonsault on the ring post on the outside to the floor on Tommaso, where the match eventually came to an end. Dorado was doing a handspring into the ropes. He got caught with a low drop kick, hit with the Project Champa, which is that power bomb onto his knee. That only got a 2 count. Dorado did hit a sick move. He had Ciampa up for an electric chair on his shoulders and swung him into a neck breaker, which got him a 2 count. Ciampa eventually hit his Widow's Bell, a hanging DDT on the ropes, then followed up with that running knee finisher of his, and that was it. You have your winner, Tommaso Ciampa. He's going to be the first entrant into the Casino Gauntlet. He'll be starting off the Casino Gauntlet. Collision, there will be a match between Roosh and Anthony Bowens, and that will determine who the second competitor in the Casino Gauntlet will be. From there, we have a backstage promo. We have the Dogs. Finley's talking about their loss last week, and then they pan over to where him and Connors have attacked Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong. They're laid out backstage, and they are calling out the trio's champions, Jet Speed and Mystico. They want a title shot at Collision, so I believe we'll be getting that this Saturday. Looking forward to that one. That's going to be a tough one because the Dogs have, they've not really been winning their matches when it matters. They lost at Revolution. They lost last week, and it's kind of odd that they're getting a title match, but it seems like they're throwing out the challenge. So it will be up to the champions to accept. And the champions being who they are, I'm sure they'll accept, and we'll have that match on Saturday. And I would not be surprised if the Dogs took it, even though they're kind of on a losing streak. They're a tough team, man. They're a tough team and a dangerous team. So I wouldn't be too surprised if the champions drop it here. But again, it is Jet Speed and it is Mystico. So what are you folks thinking here? Are we thinking new champions right before Dynasty? Are we thinking the Dogs are going to get the gold? The Dogs are a good team. Are they good enough to dethrone the trio's champions and Mystico, who's just been made all elite? Now, I don't know how long how long he's in AEW before he's traveling back to CMLL and, doing the whole back and forth thing, how many shows he's doing or anything like that over for AEW at a time. So I don't know if him being a champion, a trios champion long term is necessarily going to work. So I think I might go out on a limb here and possibly pick the Dogs to actually upset the trios champions, because I would see it as an upset, just picking up a challenge on Collision and losing. So I think the Dogs have a pretty good chance of winning here. Let me know what you all think in the comments if you agree or disagree with that one. From there, we have another backstage promo. This is Tekla. Basically, she's saying she doesn't want to hear about Hayter being a former champion. Called her the dumbest witch alive, not using that word, but, and that at Dynasty, she'll be the dumbest witch dead. So interesting turn of phrase there. Tekla is definitely different. She's also dangerous, and she's been a pretty solid champion, doing good work in the ring. No Sisters of Sin at her side, but they weren't necessary tonight. It's just a quick promo, and we'll see what happens. Former champion Jamie Hayter versus Tekla at Dynasty. We'll see. It's a good matchup. I'm looking forward to it. Happy that Hayter is getting a shot. Don't have much faith that she'll win, but I'll be pulling for her. It'll be good. We then go into the ring for another promo. This time it's for CNC, Cage and Cope. I do wish that they would have just the one entrance and it not be separate. But small thing, and it's all good. So Cope started out basically saying that what drives FTR is jealousy, and that it's time for CNC to get their dynasty, their CNC dynasty, to take their place back at the top of the mountain and be the AEW Tag Champs. Cage, he, of course, being Cage, has to take it somewhere else entirely. He's saying FTR has been very naughty. He's a father figure, and he paid a visit to both their moms. He clarified what that means. I'm not going to clarify what it means. I'm sure you know what it means. And that he will visit Stokes as well, but after winning the titles. Cue FTR's music. They come out with Stoke. They don't look happy. Cage and Cope, they end up getting attacked from behind by RPG Vice. So Trent and Rocky Romero, who were in FTR's locker room a week or so ago. So they're working together apparently. Cage and Cope, they try to fight back, but eventually they're overwhelmed. Copeland eats a chair to the face via Trent and Romero. It's like a running knee with a chair to the face. And Cage, he gets speared by Stokely, which is just so disrespectful. I mean, he was being held by FTR, but still. And from there, they put Cage's arm in a chair. Stokely made sure to steal Cage's watch. Wow. Classic Stokely. Oh, man, the guy is the best and the worst at the same time. So he steals Cage's watch, and then Cash jumps onto the chair, and is Cage's arm done? That's a very interesting move to do, a thing to do right before a big pay-per-view. So close to big pay-per-view, less than a week away. It was already going to be a challenging match for Cage and Cope going against FTR. So having Cage's hand, his arm, in a chair getting smashed, typically that's to lead into like a broken arm type story. And Dynasty is just a few days away. So not sure how they're going to square that one, how that's going to work, if he's going to be wrestling in a cast or not quite sure, but I guess we will find out very soon. Then we have a backstage promo. A lot of promos tonight, but it's the final Dynamite before big pay-per-view. So this one is Darby Allin. He's talking about how, everyone says that he doesn't care about anything. He has a death wish, all of that sort of thing, but that it's actually not true. It's all a bit of a facade that he puts on, that the truth is he really cares too much. And that he's kind of afraid sometimes that he can't be the face of the company. He can't be the world champion, but that he needs this win more than anything, and he needs to be world champion. I really liked the promo. It just showed a lot of passion, showed, that side of him that we know exists because we know he loves professional wrestling. That's why he puts his body on the line and does whatever he has to do or thinks he has to do or wants to do to entertain everyone and to tell the stories that he does. So, I'm definitely hoping that he gets the win over Andrade, and I'm definitely hoping and still waiting for him to one day become AEW World Champion. Is this going to be a path that sets him onto the world title? Is he going to become world champion in 2026? Time will tell. I would definitely be happy if he gets that, but it's a crowded field, so we shall see. But I'll definitely be pulling for him. All right, from there we have the main event, Chaos in Canada. Anything goes match. We've got the United Empire, Callum Newman, IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Francesco Akira and Hanare, along with Will Ospreay. The United Empire taking on the Death Riders, Mox, Claudio, Pac, and Daniel Garcia. And of course, Shafir will be in tow. Immediately, right off the bat, the Death Riders, their entrance to the crowd is interrupted, and chaos ensues. They are attacked. Windsor comes out of nowhere, runs down the ramp to attack Shafir because it's chaos and that can happen. This match was definitely main event status, match of the night. It was incredible. I mean, that United Empire, it's so good. It's so good to see that in AEW, wrestlers from outside the company can come in and right away they're a viable threat. Like the crowd understands these guys are the real deal because they're here in AEW having a match. They're alongside Will Ospreay. They're part of his team. That's all you need to know. If you don't follow New Japan or anything else, then you at least understand if they're coming into AEW, if they're alongside Ospreay, you know they are quality and they show it right away. So Francesco Akira, super speed demon, daring moves. He's doing splashes immediately from the top of a ladder in the ring to the floor outside on the Death Riders. It did look like he kind of, when he came down, he landed on the right lower leg of Claudio. He seemed to be in some pain and discomfort, and it did not look good. But he continued the match, and of course, the United Empire dominated for several minutes from the opening of the match. But Death Riders, in true Death Rider fashion, they take over. They're just a well-oiled machine. They've got the different United Empire members in the corner. They're just hitting that gauntlet, the clotheslines, the European uppercut, clothesline, when they're just hitting one after the other over and over again. Death Riders, they're a good squad. They've been together for a long time and it shows. Other than that, there was a great spot. Claudio, using his strength, has Hanara up in a vertical suplex outside the ring, walks around outside the ring, suplexes him through a table. Everybody got a chance to go through the table. Unfortunately, one of them did not, even after a couple of attempts. Francesco Akira, he tried to put Daniel Garcia through a table with a powerbomb. Didn't quite work the first time. Tried it again with a splash. Still didn't work. He is on the smaller side, Akira is. So maybe it looked like that kind of made it a little more difficult. Pac went through a table eating a double stomp from the top rope, table on the outside, and that put him through. There was also Hanara basically spearing Claudio through a table as well. Just a lot of good wrestling. I mean, back and forth. It was chaos, but it was organized chaos, and they were telling great stories in the ring. Ospreay got put into a Dragon Tamer by Daniel Garcia, ate a mock stomp, and luckily it was broken up. There was a spot where Newman and Ospreay hit a double Oz cutter together, protege and teacher together. Towards the end of the match, after those table spots, it was just Mox and Will Ospreay in the ring. Mox was able to get Ospreay and hit him with a paradigm shift, not once, not twice, but 3 times in a row. However, Newman came in, made the save, stopped him from receiving a fourth, ended up setting Moxley into a table that was set up in the corner, so standing in the corner, and Will Ospreay was able to hit him, Mox, with a hidden blade through the table, and both hit Ospreay and Newman cover Mox and get the 3 count. And big win for the United Empire. An amazing main event. I'm sure you all watched it. If for some reason you didn't, please do. And if you did watch it, go ahead and watch it again because it was that good. Ospreay did, after the match, pick up Mox to go for what looked like a Tiger Driver. However, Claudio made the save, pulled him out of there, and it did still look like Claudio was still favoring that right lower leg. So hopefully he's okay. To end the night, we had a video package with Kenny Omega showing his whole history. I thought the MJF video package was good. This one was even better. Of course, a lot more history to show. They're showing Ring of Honor, Kenny, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, DDT, New Japan, Bullet Club, him and Okada, then helping form AEW. He's showing how he was the first Triple Crown champion in AEW, winning the tag titles, the trios title, and the world title, showing how he was the belt collector, winning the TNA championship, and just, when he had that period in time when he had several belts. When he won the international title after his battle with diverticulitis, becoming the first AEW Grand Slam champion. There was just a lot of history, and it was good to go through it all. Good video package. Good job by AEW. And then that led to the end of the night, the in-ring promo with Kenny Omega in a full suit, three-piece suit, vest, tie, pocket kerchief, all of it. And another great in-ring live promo by Kenny Omega, again, back to back. And, I was already invested in this match, but now I'm even more. I feel like I felt like MJF was a lock to win. Not so much anymore, because they're really building Kenny Omega up to be like Kenny, like the actual Kenny, the Kenny that was from before. And, he's talking about how he lost his cool during the contract signing, and it was thanks to Speedball that he didn't totally waste his shot by getting physical. And he was asking, why did he lose his cool? Was it because of the Ibushi comment? No, it's not. Was it about the health issues? No, it's not. He hears the commentators bring it up every night. So that wasn't it. It was about, all the monikers that he's called, the belt collector, best bout machine, god of wrestling, that those just aren't words to him because they come from the people. So he feels like that's a responsibility that he carries on his shoulders. It means something. So he goes into what he says makes MJF relevant, which is just him running his mouth and talking, and says that MJF can't do what he does, that he can't, being Kenny, he rewrites wrestling in his image. That's what he's been doing, and that's something that MJF just isn't able to do. And he can't tell a story in the ring to the level that Kenny and just a few others in the industry can. And that, he, being Kenny, that Kenny thought that it was all on him to create the legacy for AEW. But, he does the classic good guy thing and says, no, it's not his job and it's not his legacy. It's our legacy, right? Everyone, which is cool. It's true. But, it's kind of a classic face thing to say. But, he goes into saying that AEW deserves a champ that wears the belt with pride. And, that now, yeah, he may not be the Kenny from before the diverticulitis, but this Kenny, it's about working harder, and any weaknesses he had, he's turned into strength. And he actually promised to bring an end to MJF's reign. So a promise by the good guy is not something that should be given lightly. That's what I was taught. And so I feel like once he said that, I kind of felt like odds kind of lean a little bit more in Kenny's favor. Now, again, they might just be building him up, which MJF brought up when he came out right then and there. His music hits, he's interfering, saying that this is likely Kenny's last shot. And, he can build himself up as much as he wants. The people can build him up. But what excuse is he going to have when he loses, now that he's saying he's at 100%, and that the last time he lost was because he was at 75? So what is his excuse going to be? Because the same thing's going to happen to him that happens to everybody else that, likes to look down on MJF and say they're just going to beat him and take the title, that they all think they can handle him. And in the end, it's him that walks out the victor. And he, again, upping his game on the promos, on the mic. saying, I really liked that he brought up how I learn more about you every time we speak. And he's saying, the title, you can tell that it means a lot to MJF, and the things he needs to do to protect it means a lot to MJF. So, he says he thinks he will even be so honorable as to shake the hand of the opponent, before the match. Puts out his hand, and of course, MJF goes to do it, and nope, turns around, and then turns back around to do the old cheap shot. Instead, he gets countered and eats a jumping knee. He's out cold. Kenny takes the Dynamite diamond ring, does the whole adieu goodnight bang with it, says that MJF's so predictable. He saw that coming, drops the ring on MJF, and cue the music. Night is over. Kenny Omega looks strong. Kenny Omega gets the final word, and he puts the champ on his back. So, what are we thinking here? Like I said to start, I was already invested in this match. I was already looking forward to this match a lot. Now, I'm even, in all honesty, even more invested, more interested. I think Kenny's done an amazing job stepping up and being really solid on the mic and really selling this match. And he's been great in the ring. He's looked like old Kenny. He's in great shape. And I think this match is going to be even better than their first match, which was already a solid match. But, Kenny wasn't at his best then, and he's a lot closer to being at his best now. So, if not his best, so at least at this stage in the game. So I'm expecting great things from this match. Really looking forward to it. We all know MJF can go. He can run his mouth, but he's one of the best in the ring as well too. So him and Kenny Omega, they're going to blow it out the water. Totally looking forward to it. But we've been here a long time tonight. Let me know what you thought your best moment was. Who stood out the most? What was your match of the night? For me, again, it was the main event. It was that United Empire against the Death Riders. Excellent match. It was great to see United Empire in there, and just blew it out the water. The promo, the video packages for MJF and Kenny, and their promo at the end of the night. Excellent job setting up for their world title match at Dynasty. Looking forward to that. Absolutely. So let me know what you all thought about the show. Let me know what you're most looking forward to as we move on in this Dynasty week. And thank you again for watching. Thank you for all of those who've subscribed already. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Also like, share, comment, all that good stuff. But until next time, take care, and I will talk to you soon.